I think I'll just walk.
Wrap it on there with a bungee cord or something.
Yeah,
there you can.
Yeah, that's
as long as it doesn't go out.
659-3338 and 1-800-447-4463 are the numbers. We'll talk with Dan and Kevin about anything. Guys, is there anything that you really wanted to talk about coming in here today that we haven't talked about as of yet?
I think I've covered everything. If you do have a drainage problem, give us a call. We'll do our best to assist you. We may not always be able to do something about it, but we can show you ways that you might be able to address it or put you in contact with people that can help you. We're doing that with a lady out at Colfax right now, hoping we can help her some way. But give us a call. We'll do what we can.
Kevin, how about you?
Well, I guess I want to emphasize that this is the time of year that a lot of road construction is going on. It may just be one lane at a time. Please, please, please watch out for people working out on the roads, not only on the county roads, state roads, and in the city. We're out there trying to make things a little bit better. And, with the distractions that go on these days with people talking on the phone or texting or what have you, and not being real alert sometimes, a lot of bad things can happen. We go to a lot of extremes to protect the guys, and we go overboard sometimes to do that. But I think it's more than worth it because you just never know. But I just ask everybody to please be aware of what's going on, and won't be long. The farmers are going to be out. A lot of planters are going to be out, tractors and everything.
They already are.
Yeah, that's correct.
They already are. So
be aware of everywhere you go that coming over the next hill or the next curve that somebody could be running really slow.
Yeah. Last thing I want to ask you guys, is there any type of equipment that you're really in need of right now? I know you said earlier that you were I know you guys are a little bit behind. I know. I understand that. But is there anything that really earth-shatteringly need for either one of you?
Well, I will say that the council has worked with us really great. I mean, that they've went overboard, and we are going to be able to get a grader. And also, we hope to be able to get a couple of trucks this year. We're already getting a backhoe and a trailer to haul it, and we know that we've got some really big needs coming up as far as a loader goes, that we're going to try to address that later. But, unfortunately, some of the equipment that we need is the big, expensive stuff, and it takes some time to get that.
And, of course, you guys out in the county are loaded, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I wish. I wish. But, we want to try to get the right equipment at the right time and be good stewards of what we got. But we've got to have good equipment to be able to do our job.
That's true. Dan, how about you?
As far as my office, council has been very cooperative in giving us what we need, as well as commissioners. Right now, we don't really have anything on our radar that we would like to procure. The unmanned aircraft was the big thing that is proving very useful. So right now, no, we're just our normal office supplies. We're having no trouble with that at all. So for a big purchase, no, we don't really have anything on the radar unless we wanted to employ our own people to do the work and buy equipment, things like that. But I don't see that happening.
Okay. You guys going to hit the political forum tonight? And
I am.
Thursday night?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. Both nights?
Plan on it.
Okay. I'll be there on both nights.
Well, I think I'm going to be there too. I think I'm going to be asked.
Should be very interesting.
Yes, I think it will be.
I think everybody should come and hear what the candidates have to say. And there's a great group of candidates for vote for the council and commissioners. And
thank you for joining Casper Media as we bring you Clinton County primary political forum coverage. The candidates face off from the Clinton Prairie Auditorium. This forum is brought to you in part by Wampler Services Incorporated, Encompass Credit Union, Dave's Auto and Radiator Repair, the City of Frankfort, and Casper Media.
I'm not too sure what's causing that, but it's like this, I don't know, this thunderous voice is simply the mic. So we do appreciate your attendance here tonight, and we look forward to the questions. Speaking of questions, we have a couple of our board members here tonight. Our board president, Joe Rule, and Don Stock, who's also the president of Main Street, will be helping us get the questions forms out. If you have a question and you need a form, raise your hand, and they will make sure that you get a form. And then also raise your hand, and they will pick it up and get it back up here to tonight's questioners, and we certainly appreciate your participation. So tonight's questions have been gathered from folks throughout the community via email or mail-in, and these questions have been gathered by both the Frankfort Times and the Clinton County Daily News, Casper Media. So we appreciate them tonight. And speaking of them, we certainly appreciate their participation. I don't know how many years we've been doing this now together, but it's been a few, and we certainly appreciate their attendance tonight. First of all, a gentleman that, again, needs no introduction. Neither one of these two people really need introduction. They're both very highly involved in our community. Ken Hartman is the producer and also the host of the popular radio program each and every day on Monday through Friday, WILO's Party Line. Ken has been the news director for a number of years now at WILO, formerly with the Frankfort Times. So he's had his hand in the news media, especially here in Clinton County, for a number of years, and an overall good guy. Would you please welcome Mr. Ken Hartman? Our questioner that represents the Frankfort Times is the publisher of the Frankfort Times, also known, she does the editing and circulation. Sharon does a little bit of everything, and Sharon is also just one of those folks that raises her sleeves and gets involved in the community and has helped us out tremendously on the Chamber Board, and we greatly appreciate both her membership on the Chamber Board and the Frankfort Main Street Board, as well as a good Rotarian and someone that we certainly count on each and every day to bring us the news. Would you please welcome Ms. Sharon Bardonner? So I believe things go a little bit better with prayer, but before we have prayer, would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance tonight? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Join me in prayer. Father, we are grateful and thankful for today, for the beautiful day that you've given us, for the opportunity to be here at Clinton Prairie High School, for us to be able to participate in something that we hold so dear, and that is the freedom to choose. And Lord, we're grateful to have this platform tonight in this election forum, to be able to, Lord, gather information, to hear from the candidates, and to recognize, Lord, that these folks have put their lives and their service in the hands of their constituents. And we pray, Father, that you would bless them, watch over them, guide them and direct them, and thank you, Lord, for their service to our community. We ask that you bless these proceedings tonight, and that we give you all the glory and honor in Christ's name. Amen. You may be seated. Well, tonight we are going to begin with the county coroner race and questions, and we're right on schedule, right on time now. We had a flip of the coin earlier to decide who would go first, and then before we do that, let me just give you the breakdown and the outline of how we're going to handle tonight's proceedings. Each each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves and to share a little bit about themselves. And then after the 2 minute from either candidate, and this will be repeated with the county council, that our questioners, Sharon and Ken, will begin to ask them questions. They will have 1 minute to respond to those questions. In that 1 minute, they can go back and address something else that has been said. So if they wanted to answer the question briefly with a very short answer, they can do so, but they have to answer the question. That is what we have asked them to do tonight. So the question has to be answered. However, they can take that a remainder of time to go back and answer or simply reply to something that's been said earlier in the forum. So having said that, oh, and by the way, at the end of their time, they will have 3 minutes to conclude and share their closing comments. So having said that, Amanda won the flip tonight and has elected to go first. So Amanda deferred, and Ed will be kicking off. So Ed, and you can feel free to stand there or come to the podium.
Wow, what a great crowd. This is awesome. Well, good evening. I'd like to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy day and a beautiful day outside today for attending the Coroner's Forum this evening. I'd like to thank Clinton Prairie administration for letting us use the auditorium here. This is the first time I've ever been in this auditorium, and it's very nice. I'd also like to thank Clinton County Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Shan Sheridan, the Times, and WILO for hosting this event. I would also like to thank my family and friends, my wife Erin, my daughter Riley, my two sons Reed and Ross. They've been outstanding during this campaign. I'd also like to thank all my friends that have helped. They've been tremendous. They've been tremendous during the campaign. And my final thank goes out to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Without him, none of us could be here today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ed Kripe, and I am seeking the office of Clinton County Coroner. I have previously served Clinton County as your deputy coroner and as your elected coroner. Some of you might ask, why do you have the desire to run for this office again? I would answer that by simply saying, I am honest, compassionate, and dedicated to taking care of families during the loss of their loved ones. With the training and experience I have, you can be confident in my ability to make a difficult time as easy as possible. With having a full-time career, just like many other elected officials in Clinton County, I am confident in my leadership to surround myself with competent deputy coroners to handle the caseload when the coroner's office in Clinton County averages approximately 50 cases per year. With your vote, my knowledge, honesty, integrity, and compassion to help families will be on every scene. I have the qualifications and skills that are required to be the best coroner for you, the residents of Clinton County. Vote honesty, integrity, compassion. Vote Kripe for coroner. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Please don't tell us, Casper, we dropped the sign. I didn't push that down. No, I did. There we go. Get WILO-TV. All right, Amanda, you have 2 minutes to open up. Thank you.
Short. Hello, my name is Amanda Abbott, and I'm seeking my second term as a Republican candidate for Clinton County Coroner. I first want to thank Clinton Prairie, the Clinton County Chamber of Commerce, WILO, the Times, and all of you for coming out this evening, and I look forward to answering any further questions and speak with each of you later. As many of you may know or may not know, the coroner's position is term limited. It is limited to 2 consecutive terms, each being 4 years. I am seeking my second term, as I should. The coroner's position is my only profession, other than being a mother. That is why, since 2013, I have personally investigated 72% of the cases the coroner's office has handled. I feel I was meant to take care of the people of Clinton County this way. I care for not only the deceased, but also for the living. I know when I'm doing my investigation that there are loved ones who cannot understand why something has happened and are in agony over the uncertainty. My job is about bringing closure when life ends. I try my hardest for the families. I balance professionalism with humanity. Yes, the coroner's office is an elected position. It is even a paid position. However, it requires a servant's heart. I have worked very hard to increase communication with the community over the last 4 years. I've given numerous presentations to school students, EMS, fire departments, and also provided job shadowing to students. I've also taken a proactive approach to save lives by giving presentations to the local driver's education programs. A coroner's election is unique in the case that most voters have no idea of the true qualifications of the coroner, as they've not had interaction with them. That is why it is very important that the coroners serve the people of their county that elect them with honesty, integrity, and compassion, and intelligence in every decision they make. As your coroner for the last 4 years, I know the coroner's office has been trustworthy, reputable, and credible. Every family I serve will always be treated with dignity, respect, and compassion. I'm Amanda Abbott, your current coroner, and I ask for your vote on May 3rd. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Amanda. All right. Well, thank you very much, and we appreciate you holding your applause. We're going to ask that you hold your applause tonight and then share your gratitude and thanks for this evening's candidates later this evening at the end, at the conclusion of tonight's program. Also, Jason Wilhite, our very willing and able timekeeper tonight, also an associate there at the chamber with myself, is going to be handling the time tonight, and he will keep us on track. So when you see me looking or see the candidates looking there at the front row, you'll know that's what we're going to be checking out our time. All right, we're going to try to get as many questions as we can in the next 20 minutes, and I'm going to let Sharon begin. Sharon? And Amanda, you will begin the questions since Ed started. So, and you should have mics working. Nessa. They should be all on. Oh, they need to be turned on. I'm sorry. So if you could turn them on and make sure that they're working. Should be a green light, I believe.
Mine is working.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. I have a question for, now these initial questions that I have to ask are submitted questions, and I have to say kudos to our county residents for having such an interest in the coroner's race. There was a question submitted, Mr. Cripe, when your term was over and Mrs. Abbott was elected coroner, there was question about some files that were missing that you had apparently kept or something. Number one, the first question is that against the law? And second, why were those files at your house and not at the office?
That's directed to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought you were getting the first question.
Well,
okay.
if they do direct the question to you, then they, okay.
The reason the files were delayed is because I had 2 cases that were pending. The cases were not at my house. They were actually at the office. I did transport them all to the courthouse after the last case, which was a female that got hit out on State Road 39. The cases were all taken, or the files were all taken to the courthouse where they were signed for by the commissioner's secretary.
Okay. All right. So next question, and we'll direct this one to Amanda, unless you have other instructions for us, Ken.
Yeah, let's do this. What the heck? This is from the audience. Working full-time jobs and other obligations, how do you, not as a deputy coroner, be able to respond to calls Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.? Okay. Okay. I think, I'm not sure, that may be directed to Ed too, since that's it's for both of you.
It's for both of them. Okay. Go ahead, Amanda, start, if you want to.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the coroner is my only profession. Like I did say in my statement, since 2013, since I have been elected coroner, I have handled personally 72% of the cases that the coroner's office has handled. My deputy coroners, have only been covered the last 20%. So I do myself handle most cases, as I believe the voters are voting for me to handle those cases, as I am the elected coroner. So I believe I do need to handle those cases.
Okay,
Yeah,
Ed.
I am the assistant chief at the Frankfort Fire Department, and I do work 8 to 4. Like I said in my statement, you surround yourself with good people. I've learned that leadership role as the assistant chief, that you surround yourself with good people. The coroner is, I don't know any coroner in the state of Indiana that does not have deputy coroners. There's a 40-hour training that you have to pass and be certified. So surrounding myself with good people to be able to set that call load, which is not very many here in Clinton County. I mean, if we were in Lake County or Vanderburgh County or something like that, where they have hundreds and hundreds of calls, and they have many, many deputy coroners, one person can't be on call 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 24/7. So that's why you want to surround yourself with competent deputy coroners to be able to handle that caseload when you're not available.
Okay. Sharon?
Okay. This is for both of you, just to get a perspective. Ed, you had said that you had handled 50 cases per year. Do you know what the current caseload is? And Amanda, can you speak to that? And then what all is involved in a case in terms of, I mean, can you give an estimate of numbers of hours or anything like that?
Okay, Amanda.
Currently, we have increased. Since 2009, they handled 37 cases. 2010, they had 35. Last year, 2015, we handled 45. So it really does depend. Our normal caseload, though, is about 50 to 55 cases. Cases can vary. Obviously, you know, if we have an elderly person, you know, is under doctor's care, it may not take as long as the case we had the other night, as I'm sure you all heard. So each case can vary 2-3 hours on scene, and then a couple hours of paperwork, to then again, like I said the other night, we were on scene for about 12-13 hours, and then you have all following days following that. Like I had work yesterday, I worked today. We have stuff coming up on Friday for that same case. So this case will probably take anywhere, you know, 50 plus hours and then go to court.
Okay, Ed.
With the caseload, approximately 70% of deaths are natural deaths. So that leaves about 30% that are really investigated by the coroner. And when I was coroner the last 4 years, I have in mind, I had 37 death investigations in 2009, 35 in 2010, 53 in 2011, and 2012. In 2012, I had 45. So 70% of them were actually natural deaths.
Okay. Ken.
Since both of you have held this position, how much has the position changed in the last 5 years or so?
Start with Ed.
Oh, when I held the position, it was I was fortunate enough to be in the second class to become a certified medical legal death investigator. And when we started back in '99, and from nowadays, which I'm an instructor with the Indiana State Coroner's Training Board, it has just, I mean, there's a lot more. It's a lot more in depth. I was talking to Jackie, a deputy coroner of Amanda's earlier, and like I told her, this day and age, you got to have your T's crossed and your I's dotted.
Okay, Amanda.
It has changed over even the last 4 years that I have served. Even natural deaths do need to be investigated. We don't know if that person took too much medication or was not taking their medication. So even natural deaths are investigated. You still have to find out information from the doctor. But we're having more crime, more drug overdoses, which increases our caseload and increases our autopsy rate. But we're having just more of those calls in the last 4 years.
All right. Sharon?
One of the things that you had said, Amanda, when we interviewed you for the Times, was that you were now investigating ER deaths, which hadn't been done before. Will you continue to do that? Why did you take that on? And Ed, on, you know, from your point of view, will you continue to do that if elected?
Amanda?
Yes, we investigate all emergency room deaths, which should be. It is in our jurisdiction to do so. When someone comes into the emergency room, they're obviously coming from an outside agency, their home, or a vehicle accident. Doctors do not know their previous medical history or what happened previously to them going to the emergency room. That's why the coroner's office is supposed to investigate those deaths.
Okay, Ed.
And that was the same way when I was coroner. I investigated emergency room deaths. There actually was a bill in the House, I believe it was 1088, I believe, where it's given the right to the ER physician may or may not contact the coroner in emergency room deaths. And the Indiana State Coroners Association fought that, where they believe that anytime an ER death happens, it should be investigated, unless it's like a terminally ill patient that comes in that's going to be a doctor sign out. The coroner just has to have a good relationship with that ER physician and the ER staff to let them know when to and when not to call the coroner.
Okay. Ken?
This question is for both of you. How do you guys determine when you release names to the media, and what's your way of going about that?
Yes. Go ahead, Amanda. I'm sorry. Sorry.
There are, under our coroner laws, we have to release 5 things, one including the deceased name, and that is done so in a timely manner as soon as we know. The name of, I know our homicide victim was delayed because we did not have a positive identification as of that time. That's why it's delayed. And also we are obviously going to contact the family first before we release the name to media.
All right, Ed.
The releasing of a name has to go in conjunction with law enforcement, like in the case that just happened. The coroner and law enforcement have to communicate, and it's the coroner's responsibility to release that information in regards to a death. So they have to communicate amongst each other and make sure that law enforcement has gotten all their investigations done and everything else before that can happen.
Okay, Sharon.
Okay. Someone is asking, how long does it take to obtain a death certificate?
Ed?
Indiana state law for us as coroners, you have 72 hours after the investigation is complete to issue a death certificate. When I was coroner, I signed a lot of death certificates pending, and the reason I done that, signed them pending, is because that just helps the family out to get the ball rolling with insurance things, closing out accounts. So we actually have 72 hours after the investigation to complete the death certificate. But like I said, a lot of times I would sign them out pending. And I spoke with some health departments, which that helps them out, lets them know what's going on, and just helps get the ball rolling.
Amanda.
That is correct. We have 72 hours after the time of our investigation is finished to sign a death certificate. However, our investigation includes waiting on toxicology and also a pathologist report. So until we get those items, our investigation is still open and ongoing. A pending death certificate, I will sign a pending death certificate. I usually will not. I wait until we get that information because a pending death certificate does not help a family close bank accounts, and insurance companies will not take a pending death certificate to pay insurance policies. They want a cause and manner of death on that certificate before they will pay insurance policies.
Okay. And just a reminder, if you have a question, raise your hand. Joe will get you a sheet of paper, and we'll get it up here as quick as we possibly can. So, Ken.
This question is going to be for both of you, but we word it a little bit differently. Amanda wanted to know why you're running again. I think we already know that, but I want you to repeat that. And Ed, why are you deciding to run again after 4 years?
Okay, Ed, go ahead.
Well, to me, the coroner's office and being the coroner, it's not a job, it's a passion. And I have the dedication, the compassion to help families, to work with families. I mean, it's a shock when you have to go tell that family that, hey, your loved one is deceased, is dead. So, and I've spent many hours. One of my supporters come up to me the other day and said, Ed, I remember back when you were coroner, when my wife's friend died, and you sat out in your truck for 2 hours to wait for their daughter to come from down south so she could see her mother one last time in their house. So that's why I am choosing to run again for coroner, for the families.
All right, Amanda.
I also do it for the deceased families, not only for the deceased to find out why they died. Like I said, we are there for the living also. We're there to give them answers as to what happened. I love what I do. I love serving the community, and I just feel that I'm meant to do this job.
All right, I'm going to do about 2 more questions, and then we'll have a closing here. Sharon?
Okay, can you describe your own personal decision-making process and give a couple examples of that?
Amanda?
As pertain to a call or to run for office? Pertaining to a call. Every single call is different. None are the same. Even if you have, a person the same age, maybe with the same illnesses, there's always different things that come up that may or may not have happened, different medications that we have to look into. So I look into everything. It might be nothing, but I'd rather investigate it and it be nothing than potentially something. I don't want to go home and lay my head down at night and think, oh, why didn't I do that? Or I should have done that. so I do it all to begin with.
Okay, Ed.
Each death investigation needs to go in the same steps, no matter what the call. I mean, if the coroner's called and the coroner has to investigate it, you have steps that you have to follow to investigate that death. So every call is not really different the way I handle it, because, I mean, it's investigated the same way all the time. That brings consistency and everything to the office.
Okay. Ken?
This question came from the audience, and it's specifically for Ed. Your last year in office was 2012. How many thousands of dollars did you cut from the 2013 budget for the incoming coroner, and were they consulted before those cuts?
Actually, because I'm honest and compassionate about the office, when Amanda ran, she ran last time that she was not going to take the secretary's salary. And so I'm honest. I thought if she was not going to need that, then I was going to remove that.
Any other questions you want to? Burning question that you may have.
Okay. This is a burning question. Why do you think you're better than your opponent to be in this position?
Amanda?
I don't feel that I'm necessarily better per se. I feel that I have done the job correctly. I have treated the people that I have served with honesty and respect and compassion every case that I handle. And I feel that my honesty and the things that I have done while I have been serving will pull me through.
All right, Ed.
I'm compassionate about the job. Like I said, I'll spend as many hours with a family as need be. It's all about taking care of the family. Yes, it's about the investigation of the deceased and being their last voice, but it's all about taking care of the family also, taking care of the living.
All right. You guys have 3 minutes to wrap things up here tonight and get any final comments, remarks that you would like to share before the people. And certainly, is this a question for the coroner? Okay, we'll do one more question and then we'll move on. So, Ken, can you ask that after you vet it there? Make sure it's not a repeat or disrespectful. That's the only thing.
I'm trying to read what it says.
Okay. Or if it can be, legible.
Okay, I think it's legible now. This looks like it's for Amanda. Can you answer the budget issue for this year? I have no problem with that.
Okay, go ahead.
True, he did cut the secretary's salary. As I said, I would not have a secretary, and I do not have a secretary. I do that myself, so the $4,500 was cut from the budget, and it has been. However, the rest of the budget also got set to zero. Every single line item was set to zero in that budget. That's why I had to go to the budget hearing, and I asked that the budget be set back to the previous year, as I did not know what money I would need. So the secretary money did get put back in the budget for 2013. However, it was not used except to pay some outstanding bills.
And that evens out your answers. So I'm going to let you address any of those things in your 3-minute closing comments if you choose to do that. So yeah, well, you're in your 3 minutes right here. So you can do that starting. You want to do up here, Ed, or?
Might be longer than 3 minutes. But, no, it won't, okay. But in regards to what Ms. Abbott said, the budget was not set back to zero. There was only one line item, which was the secretary's salary, and also comments that Ms. Abbott made when she ran for the office was she was going to park the vehicle at her house, and she did not need that money in the budget because she was going to take care of all the secretary's duties herself and save the county so many thousands of dollars in insurance and everything else, which I didn't even take county insurance. But beyond that, let me grab my other In closing, I would like to let the voters know I'm a lifelong Clinton County resident, a 1990 graduate of Clinton Central High School. I've been married for 21 years to my wife, Erin. Together we have 3 great children. Our daughter, Riley, which is 20, a junior at Marion University, our oldest son, Reed, which is 17, and our youngest son, Ross, which is 14. I've been involved in my community as a public safety officer for 26 years. I will have served 20 years this August as a Frankfort firefighter EMT, where I'm currently serving as Assistant Fire Chief. Prior to my employment with the Frankfort Fire Department, I served 6 years as a volunteer firefighter EMT. I'm also involved with the school communities as I'm involved in youth sports at Clinton Central Junior Senior High School. I've also been active in the Republican Party for many years as a precinct chairman. I feel it is important to let you, the voters, know that I have stayed involved as a deputy coroner in Carroll County and with the Indiana State Coroners Association as their legislative chairman, and with the Indiana State Coroners Training Board as an instructor. Yes, you heard me right. I am involved in training new coroners and deputy coroners to get their certification that is required by the state to be an elected coroner or appointed deputy coroner. I still serve on other committees representing coroners throughout the state. I serve on the Indiana Donor Network Executive Board, the Indiana In-Time Traffic Management Effort Committee. So I consider this position as coroner not a job, I consider it a passion to take care of the deceased, but keep their families well informed and help them to the best of my ability through the loss of their loved one in a professional manner. With my experience and qualifications, I'm the best choice to be elected as your next Clinton County coroner. On May 3rd, vote honesty, integrity, compassion. Vote Cripe for coroner. Thank you.
So I just want to go back to the question about the case files. That's true. I did not have any case files in the office when I took over. They were returned to the courthouse eventually. I signed for 7 boxes, which I have the paperwork for, that I picked up that day. As for the vehicle goes to the person of whoever's on call. My deputy coroner, Jackie, down here goes on call for the weekends. She comes and gets the vehicle, so she has it at her house for a timely response. And there's no sense if she has a call in Mulberry to drive somewhere, pick up the vehicle, and then go back to Mulberry. So whoever is on call takes the vehicle home for their use if they have a call. I just want to let everyone know the deputy coroner line item in the budget is set at $4,000. Each deputy is paid $120 per case that they handle. So that allows for 33 cases per year that a deputy coroner could handle. So with a caseload of about 55, that leaves about 22 cases that a deputy coroner is not going to handle, which would have to be then the coroner to handle. I do have 2 deputies who serve with me. I have Jackie Larson, who's down here in the front row. She's had 33 years with EMS, 20 at Mulberry Ambulance. And I have Michael Brooks, who's currently a paramedic at Clinton County EMS, and he has 15 years with EMS total, not all being at Clinton County. Just remember, I do serve and will serve every family I handle and I come in contact with dignity, respect, and compassion. I am Amanda Abbott, your current elected coroner seeking re-election. I am the best choice. I ask for your vote on May 3rd for the continued position as your Clinton County coroner. Thank you.
Certainly it's no easy task to get up in front of folks. In fact, they still say, Sharon and Ken, that the greatest phobia of all is still public speaking. Number 2 is the fear of death, by the way. So it just goes to show you that people would rather die than stand up and speak in front of somebody. So I think they deserve one more round of applause. Give them a hand. Thank you. We're going to take about a 5-minute break to let the candidates for counselor come up, and make sure you have a chance to greet and meet Amanda and Ed. If you've never done that before, it's your opportunity to meet and greet them right now. 5 minutes. We'll take a 5-minute break.
A Certain Smile with Johnny Mathis on America's Best Music, 99.7 Shine, no, 1570 AM and 96.9 FM WILO. They have taken a quick break at the forum, about another 2 or so minutes, so we'll bring you some more of America's Best Music and join them shortly on WILO.
A rose must remain with the sun and the rain, or its lovely promise won't come true. To each his own, to each his own, and my own is you. What good is a song if the words just don't belong? And the dream must be a dream for two. No good alone, to each his own. For me there's you. If a flame is to grow, there must be a glow. To open each door, there's a key. I need you, I know, I can't let you go. Your touch means too much to me. Two lips must insist on two more to be kissed, or they'll never know what love can do. To each his own, to each
Clinton County Council at Large has been set up, so we now rejoin the forum already in progress.
This is County Council at Large, and you will be voting for 3 of these 6 candidates. Okay. Thanks, Tony.
I don't know if I won or lost. Hello, my name's Tony Bird. I live in Frankfort and have all my life. I married my high school sweetheart by the Grace Ann Miller. We have 3 daughters, Kara, Sydney, and Anna, and I have 1 granddaughter who's the apple of my eye. As I said, I've lived here all my life. I've had done a lot of business here in this community. I'm the developer of Kelly Estates, a 19-home lot subdivision. I've also developed Frankfort Properties. It's a 44,000 square foot warehouse facility. Within those, I have created hundreds of thousands and through the years, maybe even millions of tax base back to the county. I would appreciate your vote. I think I would bring a lot to the table. I have a lot of business experience, and I believe I could do some help. So thank you for the time, and thank you for being here.
And Jeff, now it's Jeffrey on the list, but can I call you Jeff?
That's fine. Right. That's fine. Thanks, Shannon. Well, good evening. My name is Jeff Chenoweth, and so let's just work on that one. It's not Chenoweth. It's a Welsh name. It's Chenoweth, and it just rolls off your tongue once you get that. I want to honorably serve the people of Clinton County by focusing on fiscal responsibility and budget reform. I'm a Navy veteran. I've served for almost 4.5 years active duty, was stationed with the Marines in Camp Pendleton, Lejeune, spent a year in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, came back home to the States, fell in love with a Clinton Prairie girl, and so we got married while I was still in the Navy and came back to Indiana to start a family here. I have been married to Kathy for about 37 years. We have 2 grown children, Jordan and Sally, and their little daughter, Janie, who everything is revolving around our first granddaughter, and our daughter, Kristen Campbell, and her husband, Noah. Our kids are very active in their workplace, in their neighborhoods, in the churches they serve in. Our children were raised, every day that they left the house, we would say, go mad, go make a difference. And I know that they hated that term, but I bet they're going to say that to their kids on the way out to school, too. We're all making a difference. That's why we are all here today. I think we all live by that. We want to make a positive change in our community, and that's why I'm running for county council. This is my first ever go around doing anything political like this outside of the 7th grade class president, which I won on default because Mary Pat Stanton did something the nuns didn't like. But so that doesn't count, I guess. But so Kathy and I have worked together for 28 years, and we have built a very good business. Our son joined us 5 years ago, and every day of my life, I work with budgets. I talk to vendors and suppliers trying to lower costs. I am geared to run for county council and to do this job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. So those were the 2 winners of the coin, or the number pick. By the way, the number was 37. If you would have been thinking of your anniversary, Jeff, you would have won it hands down. So, but just a tidbit. So we're going to go alphabetical order now, and that would bring us to Clark Beard. Mr. Clark Beard.
Hello. I'm a little short. I may have to move that. My name's Clark Beard. I'm a candidate for Clinton County Council at Large. Decision I made to run for this position is based on the desire that I have to serve in additional responsibilities in our Clinton County government. Through leadership skills that I've gained, assuming other duties on the council as needed, thoroughly evaluating all matters that come before the council, and applying appropriate decision-making protocol to reach conclusions that are in the best interest of this county and the community as a whole. A little bit about me. I was born and raised here in Clinton County. Graduated from Clinton Central High School and Purdue University. I majored in business and farm management. For the first 13 years of my professional career, I resided in Central Illinois. My dad and I decided that it would be a good idea for me to get experience away from the family business. And so I picked up a lot of very valuable training as a bank trust officer and farm property manager over there. In 1991, I had the opportunity to come back here to the family farm, and I've been here ever since. My father passed away in November of 2013, and I'm happy to say my mother is still very healthy and active in the community, sitting right in front of us here. She lives in Frankfort. I'm a proud father of two beautiful, educated, and married daughters. Have one granddaughter that I inherited through marriage, Sarah, and Sabrina has a bun in the oven. I am president of the Clinton County Area Plan Commission, member and past president of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and serving on the Ordinance Review Committee. I'm also active in several community organizations, Farm Bureau, Purdue Extension, Learning Network, and American Cancer Society. Thank you for being here.
I think Brett just had surgery, so you're going to stand there, right? So Brett Capps. Okay, you're going to come up, Brett? Okay. So Brett Capps is also running for county council at large. Brett?
I was originally going to do this from the table there, but these guys doing such a great job in front of the podium, I thought I'd better get up here as well. Just take a few minutes. One, you're right. Fear of speaking is something that's really up there. I do it often in my current job at Comcast, and they say it gets easier. It doesn't. But let me get on to telling you a little bit about me. I'm a lifelong county resident. I'm 43 years old. Proud to say I raised a daughter as a single father here in this county. I have 12 years of military service as a Navy Seabee, serving in both the first Gulf War and again in Iraqi freedom in 2007 as convoy security there. I'm a member of the local Moose, American Legion, and I serve on the VFW House Committee here in town. I hold a bachelor's degree in organizational management, and I'm currently seeking an MBA from the University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne. What I'd like to do is bring some new ideas and educate the public on what the county council does. It's very difficult to find that information. That's why I'm in this race. So I'd like to say thanks for coming today, and I appreciate all your votes at the primary. Thanks.
All right. John Fawcett, next up on the list.
I want to thank Clinton Prairie for hosting this, and of course the Chamber of Commerce. Shan, you're doing a great job. WILO for the radio station coming out, the Frankfort Times. Sharon, my best friend Kelly, my daughter Kirsten, for supporting me in this endeavor. To run again, it's not easy, although my daughter Kirsten decided to stay home tonight because she informed me that she didn't want to steal my thunder. So I appreciate that. I guess Minecraft's a little bit more important these days. I am John Fawcett. I'm currently the town marshal out in Kirkland. And as you know, if you came out to Kirkland, things are on the up out there, the downtown area. We got a couple new restaurants, Booker's Bar and Grill, Empire Pizza. So when you're hungry, feel free to come out there. We'd appreciate that. And I'm also the vice president of the Clinton County Fair Board. So we're expecting a larger fair than what we've had previously. You will notice a difference this year with the improvements that we're doing out there as well. So we appreciate your support coming out this July. I went to Frankfort High School. I'm a lifelong Clinton County native. I went to Indiana University at Kokomo. I got a degree in criminal justice, graduate Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. And most of you know me for probably running in the sheriff's races previously, but I do have an interest in the county council. When I would go to the budget meetings and stuff like that, and that's how I became interested in running for county council, and that's why I've decided to run, because it has sparked an interest in me. I'd like to close because a fellow brother was laid to rest today, Deputy Carl Kuntz, and I'd like to close my statement today with a poem because I think it reflects on everyone here, and it's by Robert Frost. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Mike Hensley. And Mike is the incumbent of the group. So, Mike.
Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up tonight here, and Ken and Sharon for also being here, and Chamber for putting this on. My name is Mike Hensley. I'm the current county council at large, running for re-election. One reason that I started going into the council is when I was elected sheriff for 2 terms, I was into the budget. And we had 2 different budgets there. You got the sheriff's office, and you also have the jail budget. Those at that time was approximately about anywhere from $3 to $4 million. I had an interest in that, keeping a balanced budget there. We at that time we would go before the county council, and I guess either agree or disagree on how they're going to give us any money or not. That kind of sparked my interest at that time for running for council. When I finished my term, I guess my career of 36 years in the sheriff's office, I decided that at that time that I would be interested in running for council. So I threw my hat into the ring and was very fortunate to be elected for council. I'm right now in my 4th year, and I'm running for re-election at this time, and your vote would be appreciated on May the 3rd. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, gentlemen. And we will get started with the questions, and we will start going back from reverse order. So, Mike, you will, unless something is denoted to someone else, we will go with Mike beginning the round of question, and we'll go reverse order and try to get everybody at least the opportunity to answer the question first and also last. Something else that I would like to bring up, if the question is redundant, or if your answer, I should say, is redundant, in other words, you pretty much agree with everyone, feel free to go ahead and we'll move forward, and so we can get on to some more questioning so that it will be more informative to the audience. So, Sharon, would you begin? Or Ken? Did you guys flip? You deferred. Okay, so Ken, please start us out here at Council at Large.
All righty, this is for all of you. With Mike being the only incumbent out here running, what were the reasons that you guys decided to run for the Council at Large position?
Mike, we are going to start with you, so you can go ahead and answer that as if you were, why you're running again.
Okay, my interest is still working with the budgets for the county. Like I said, I've been on the council for just about 4 years currently, and it's just about every month something comes up pretty well as changing. And I think with society the way it's going now and the budgetary restraints that we have, you know, I have an interest in that, and I want to currently keep on trying to push forward and try to make keep within our budgetary restraints, plus try to give the citizens the county something.
All right, John. It should stay on all the time, so hopefully that'll be the case, but is it work? Well, let's see. Let's check and see. I think we're on.
Mine is pretty much the same answer as Mike, and what I opened in my original remarks is I became engaged when I'd go to the council meetings and they were talking over the budget issues. I had an interest in that, and I thought that that would be give me a little bit more life experience if I decide to go on and run for, say, sheriff again or another office later on. But that's really the reason why.
Okay. Brett. You guys will have to share mics. We have about 3 up there. So.
I'm interested for a couple reasons. A few years ago, I noticed that the council had maxed out the wheel tax. Their reasoning was to improve the roads in Clinton County. I didn't notice a great improvement the following year, so I started seeking information on what the county does and what they do with our tax dollars. Working in a full-time job, it's very difficult to get that information other than what you can read in the Frankfort Times. So my best answer is I want to get involved and see where our tax money's going and help make those decisions and make sure they're going to the right places. And maybe also work with the council members to maybe help educate the rest of the county on where that money's going.
All right. Clark?
The main reason I decided to run for county council is I saw 2 of the 3 incumbents were not going to seek re-election. And right there was kind of a call to duty for me. I respect Steve and Steve's contribution over 38 years, I think, if I'm correct. And I'd just like to have an opportunity to join the team and do the extra that's going to be required to get up to speed to eventually be able to replace their dedication.
All right, Jeff.
Well, I too realized that Steve Fry, who served 22 years, who we owed a lot of debt to, was retiring, and Steve Woods was campaigning for the commissioners. That got my attention a lot. Plus, looking at, I think partnering with the commissioners as far as that type of atmosphere. That's what I do in business, is partner with people. The council works hand in hand with the commissioners. I think checks and balances are what are needed. I think people vote for people that know what the right hand and the left hand are doing. That interests me. It interests me to have a positive influence here in the county, and that's what I want to bring to the county council.
All right, Tony.
I've always had a great interest in money, so and the county council handles all the money. I've also had a great interest in business, and they are basically the business arm of the county. What really got me sparked to run is I'm the insurance agent for the county, and I work with the insurance board, the council, the commissioners, and in doing so, we in my first year we saved over $500,000 going in and negotiating for the insurance for the county. Saving that money really sparked me that if I could do it there, maybe I could do it some other where. I enjoy negotiating, and I think with my ability to go in, I could do some good on other budgetary items.
Okay. Sharon, comes back to you.
Okay, well, my first question is for Mr. Byrd, and it does have to do with the business of the county, and that it does have to do with your serving as, Jackson McCormick serving as the agent of record for the county. First of all, I know that at the beginning of that negotiation, at the beginning of that relationship, there was a letter sent by you to members of the county council that was rather inflammatory. So I'd like you to speak to that and, you know, what you might do differently next time. And second, how can you serve on the council without that being a conflict of interest?
That's no different. As far as a conflict of interest, I don't think it's any different than any other council member on a different board that the county supports money-wise. That's like saying Mr. Fawcett couldn't run on the fair board, in my opinion. I've always lived under the phrase that nothing will ever get done or accomplished if you're afraid to speak. I'm not afraid to speak, and I did stand up. You know, we're all grown-ups. That's been almost 3 years ago. What we accomplished out of that by saving almost over $500,000 our first year, working with all of them, even after we sent the email or had our disagreement. Concurrently, in the last 3 years, I've increased benefits every year at no additional cost to the county or to the county employee. So some good things came out of that confrontation, in my opinion.
Okay. Ken, we'll go back to you and open it up.
All right, this is for all of you. What are the biggest issues that you all see that are facing the county as we currently sit here?
I'm going to begin with John.
Well, there's a couple that I've noticed here recently. One of them is that the courthouse is obviously running out of space, so the possibility of annexing and having to build a building or renting space. I think the county spends $50,000 or $60,000 a year renting buildings. And the other one is the surprise things that happen, and it has to do with the bridge that they recently struck oil on. So the surprises with the expenses and things of that sort. So.
Okay, Brett.
Yeah, like John said, the surprises that keep coming up. I was at the committee meeting where they were talking about hitting oil there at the bridge, and it sounded like the costs were going to get up there pretty high due to that. I think that's going to be just those types of things, and budgeting for that is going to be very difficult. The other issue I believe will be coming up or will be facing soon is the hospital lease. I think that'll be another one that will be a big one for the council here soon.
Okay, Clark.
Well, there are a number of issues, and I've had the opportunity to speak with several of the council members and attend some of the meetings as well. One concern is the funding that we receive from various things from the state. It seems to keep being reduced, which then causes the council to go back and look at the budget and say, okay, where can we cut now? So, but yeah, I agree. The hospital, the county annexed issue, and road and bridge funding are probably the top three.
All right, Jeff.
Well, I know that one of the things that sparked my interest in this campaign was the hospital lease. It's one thing for our community to deal with a golf course. We can't lose our hospital, so that got me involved. I've learned enough about it to kind of stay out, let the proper people do that. Also, I know the landfill, there's been a lot of talk about that, maybe some issues that I just think just communication. I think maybe there's some communication issues that just can be solved better by just talking. The annex is another problem that I see happening. As far as what John said, $50,000 lease. Now, $50,000 is a lot of money, but you can't build a building or renovate a building for $50,000 a year. So there's a lot of discussion about that. $50,000 is a lot of money. But and I went through a building program last year, and I know how aggravating it is to go to different buildings and not know who's where. But still, I'm not sure about building a building for bringing all the departments in. I don't know about that yet.
Okay, Mike?
I would have to concur with about all the gentlemen up here. Our biggest issue is probably going to be the hospital and the annex. The bridge funding, as far as that goes, of course, those are road tax, which are not the actual property tax dollars used, although it is still tax dollars. But as far as I'm concerned on the hospital, that's, of course, that's a decision that is made by the county council or commissioners, and also, but the council actually uses the $750,000 that we get from that annually to kind of offset our EMS, and which, if that goes astray some way, then we're going to have to look for $750,000 kind of offset that. So those are the main issues that I can see now.
Okay. Tony?
I agree with all those, what they're saying about the annex and the hospital, but I want to say a little more about the hospital. One of the reasons I also ran here that bothers me quite a bit, and it has for many years, is we don't have any doctors or enough doctors in town. You know, we don't have a OBGYN. We lose doctors and we don't replace them. We have 2 pediatricians that got up and left. I don't know how we can have a community of 30 or 35,000 people and not have enough doctors. The doctors that are in here are so busy they don't know what to do. I think it's important, and I think they are working on it, talking with some of the people, but I think it's important for our leaders when we're negotiating for the lease to also bring up, you know, it's not always about the dollar in the community. We also need to take care of our people.
Okay. I will remind you as we get ready for the next question, if you do have a question, please raise your hand. Joe will make sure that you get that question or that form if you need a form. And if you do have your form filled out, raise your hand and we'll make sure it gets up here to our folks that are questioning. So, Sharon, I think you're next.
Okay, this is a question from the audience, and that is specifically regarding the hospital. What do you think should be done?
We're going to begin with Clark.
Well, that's not a question that is going to be easy to answer. First of all, I don't have all the details, and I'm not privy to the negotiations, but I am aware that there is a good possibility that the hospital could just sign the 10-year extension by the end of May, and there's really nothing that can be done. But irregardless, if I was involved, I think we should strive to keep our hospital open and do anything we can to encourage and help them acquire more doctors and improve their image.
Okay, Brett?
Well, I know that there's currently a committee working on that, and I'm going to trust that they're going to handle it and report back to us on how that is done. So I'm going to put my trust in the committee that's been put forth to do that.
All right, Mike.
I mean, I'm one of those. I believe we do need a hospital here in the county, and like I said, you have the commissioners that make that decision, basically, and those people, I guess, along with the committee that they are on, will make hopefully the right decision. I do agree with Tony. I think that we do need, you know, more qualified doctors and out the hospital. I think it's to the point of where we really kind of a Band-Aid spot right now, but at least we have some place to go. But I think through the negotiations that they will get this taken care of.
All right, Tony.
You know, competition's always good. I know there's been some interest from IU Health to come in here. I know there's been some interest to Witham. It's my understanding that even though the lease is $750,000, there's also you get a percentage of the profit too of the county, and it's my understanding that this is one of their most profitable hospitals. I think we need to leverage the interest that we have, and stop the St. Vincent from, my opinion, is putting their thumb down and not bringing in doctors, so they don't have more profit to give to the county. And I think the committee members that I have spoken with are doing that. I think they're good people. I think they're going to use that. I think they're good negotiators, and I think they should use that. You know, if you're not going to do what you say on your contract, then let's bring someone else in that will do what they say on their contract.
Okay, Jeff?
Well, I've been doing my homework on this, like pretty much everything here. I met with Tom Crawford, and Tom Crawford goes way back. It seems like the more that I know about this issue, the more that I should just let Councilman Woods and Fry and Dunn, Commissioner Weaver, and then Mayor McBarnes is sitting in on this. He is not a voter. But these are all elected officials that we have elected. They know all the facts. I have talked to them. I have a lot of notes. I'm just going to trust them that they will do what's right. I trust that St. Vincent's wants to do business here in Clinton County, and I'll just leave it up to them. I know they'll do the right thing for us.
John?
I'd have to agree with the rest of the guys up here. They've all made valid points, but I think that there's obviously a committee involved in that, and we're all taxpayers and voters. I'm sure that they would listen to us if we had a concern that they could bring to the table. So I think I would just leave it to the committee.
Okay. Ken?
I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to be chief ruler here for about a minute. What would be the biggest change if you're on, if you had the opportunity to do it? What would be the biggest change in the council that you'd like to see done?
We'll start with Brett.
Biggest change I would like to see is more knowledge and education for the county on what the council does and where the tax dollars are going. Meetings are held at during the day on the second Tuesday of every month. It's hard to find out what happens there for the average working individual who works Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I'd like to see more information given out to the public and more education on what happens. I believe that will bring more interest and more people running for these positions and bring in some new and fresh faces as well.
All right, John?
I don't really have an agenda. It's like I spoke before in my opening remarks. I'm there to learn, and I was intrigued when I went to the budget meetings, and I have an interest in it. So I don't really have an agenda for a biggest change, to be honest with you.
All right, Mike.
So far, I believe the council has done very well. I do have to agree with one of the gentlemen down here that stated, I think Brett said something about changing maybe one meeting or so where other people can get to it and see what goes on. Our meetings are the second Tuesday of every month, start at 9 o'clock. And I understand a lot of people are working. Maybe one night meeting or ever so often would suffice to some of these. One thing about it is that during a council meeting, a lot of times we have to deal with the auditor and some of those people who have to run back upstairs and get, paperwork, things of this nature. So sometimes it might be a little bit inconvenient, but I do not think that it couldn't work, though.
All right, Jeff.
Well, I believe that when I sat through some of the council meetings as I was coming up for this building expansion, I was just thoroughly impressed. I was impressed with the commissioners, too, area plan. Everything that I went in front of was very, very professional, so that when I gave this some thought, I thought this was not going to be a waste of time. These are people that could really make a difference if I had that type of attitude. If I could put time towards this, that I could really help make a difference in this county. I do believe there just needs to be maybe some open dialogue, maybe some better dialogue. Keep talking about partnerships, and the county council is just the financial arm of the county. The commissioners are the executive branch, and everything, all the responsibilities that they ask for, the council pays for. I just think maybe we just need to just make sure that there's enough money to pay for everything that we want. We all want a lot of services, and I want them too, and I want to be protected and safe. I just like to see some better communication. Thank you.
All right, John. No? To John, you haven't gone yet, have you? Oh, you were? I'm sorry. I got it wrong here. Sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
That's quite all right. I don't know. I agree with a lot of what these people have said up here. I don't know what really would I change. I ran because there was, 3 seats open. I really do believe that the county council does a really good job. I may not agree with them on all their issues. I may not agree with them, but I think and deep down, I think they all try and do what's right for the tax dollar and the taxpayer. So I really don't have any issue with them.
All right, Clark?
All right. I don't want to sound like I'm rubber stamping things. I think our council has done a really good job the last several years that I've really, been tuned in and paying attention. A couple things I'd like to see regarding any of our public boards is maybe a little better job on our parliamentary procedures and making sure that we're following the rules. And another thing I thought of, just to add something that I think is really important, is making sure that we stay in touch with our state legislators and make regular trips from those boards, the council or commissioners or whatever, to advocate for Clinton County.
All right, Sharon.
Okay, I would like each of you to describe your leadership style and how, that's one thing for you to think about it, but how do you think those people that you supervise would see you?
Mike?
Well, being on the council, I guess as far as supervision, about the only thing you do is supervise the budgetary.
It can just be, though, your supervisory style generally. I mean, in a previous capacity. What do you think's your leadership style?
I try to lead by example myself. I feel that, like when I was sheriff, I tried to do the same things as anyone else did. I didn't want to be the big me, little you type of person. So pretty well, I just try to lead by example.
All right, Tony.
That's a tough question. Leadership. I think you should listen to people. That's probably how I would be a leader. I would listen to my taxpayer. What is their thoughts on all the issues. I think I'm a pretty straight shooter. I would be very honest, and I think you have to be very honest in this job.
Clark?
I believe I'm more of a facilitator or a consensus builder. I enjoy leading, but I like to have consensus and discussion with everybody. I like to help build up those who seem like they maybe are needing to catch up, and also like to do succession planning whenever I get into a leadership role. I'm looking for who's going to replace me next, because I'm not going to want to do this forever,
All right, John.
Well, I already serve as a department head, being the Marshal of Kirkland, and I also, the security part of my business is kind of phasing out. I'm not much involved in that, but I've supervised other police officers as well in the current role, hiring them to do different things. So I think being a team player, not requiring or expecting people to pretty much walk on eggshells when they're around you or something like that, easygoing type of attitude, but be, firm in your belief and judgments and honest about things.
Okay, Jeff.
Well, my leadership skills would be, I like to rally the troops. I like to involve everybody. We're talking about my business. I like to involve the very last man that was the last one employed. He has a saying, I like to paint a picture. I like to give people, this is an idea of where you can be in 5 or 10 years. That is my leadership. Sure, I'm not gonna get outworked, and I've handled this just like business. I'm not going to be outworked up here. I'm going to talk to every department head. I'm going to talk to every councilman, commissioners, anybody that will give me an hour to talk, if I can get away from the 51% owner of our business, I will go ahead and do that. But that is my leadership skills, is to rally the troops.
All right, Brett.
I've been in leadership for 22 years, and I have went through every style that you could possibly read about. What I've learned best is find the right people for the job and then allow them to do their job. Once you do that, you get their buy-in. They'll give you more effort and do a much better job than if you stand there and tell them how to do it. The second thing I learned is, while they're doing their job, it also helps to get in there and lend a hand. And that's my management style. I'd also say every year in my current role as the regional sales manager for Comcast, we do a survey, and the employees always report back on our supervisory style. I can say in the 11 years I've been there, I've rated 90% or better. I'm very proud of that, and glad to share it today.
All right, thank you. Ken?
This question is for all of you. Do you all feel that the council is headed in the right direction, and if not, why?
Okay, we're going to start with Jeff.
Well, I do. I'm just a little bit concerned by the 33 plus years that are leaving right now, but they're not going to be going too far. We know that Steve Fry thinks he's retiring, but I think there's 5 or 6 people already tapping him on the shoulder. He'll be a wealth of knowledge. I do like the energy. I like everything that is happening in the county. I think it's definitely going in the right spot. With government, it seems I see the biggest hurdle is when you change folks. And so whatever momentum they had, whoever is elected, has to make sure, man, you just go in, learn your job, and keep it going.
All right, Brett.
I'd have to disagree with you on this one. I'm not concerned with the 33 years loss. I'm more of an individual that believes we need change. Not that these individuals have done a bad job. Matter of fact, I think they've done a great job from what I've been able to find out. But we can't do the same thing over and over. We need new ideas, new faces, and new people in these positions so that we can change with the rest of society and the rest of the world. Doing the same thing over and over, I believe, will lead us down a path we do not want to go.
John?
I think the council's done an extremely well job. I'd point out to working with Frankfort on different things such as ConAgra and stuff like that. So I think they've done a really good job. A few of the guys that are taking off and for other endeavors like Steve Woods and Steve Fry, they'll be missed, but they won't be far away. We'll call them at home. If we can't get a hold of them, we'll come looking for them.
Clark?
Well, I think generally speaking, yes, the council is headed in the right direction, but I think we need to keep it going. It's a challenge just to fund all the services for this community, the county and the community. But I think we need to do maybe more forward thinking. We've gotten to the point now where the firefighting has kind of gotten down to a minimal level. All of the thinking now needs to be towards let's make sure we're planning for the future, not just this budget cycle.
All right, Tony. I think they're going in the right direction. I would like to see maybe less confrontation with the commissioners and the council. But that's good also in some way. You got to have some checks and balances. But I do think they're going in the right direction. And there's nothing wrong with new people coming in and taking a direction to the right or to the left instead of keep going forward. I think new ideals are important and not just to sit and stagnant and do the same things over and over again.
Okay, Mike, as the incumbent, you get to answer this.
Well, I feel that we are going in the right direction, and that because I feel this way is I've been through many budget cycles, have been with the sheriff's department, and I've seen times where it was just that kind of stagnant. I believe that the group that we have now is moving forward. I don't disagree with Brett. I think, change in one direction or another is good. Hopefully that way, we won't be stagnant. But I think we are looking forward, ahead into the future, planning things ahead in the future, and there has been times in the past that did not happen.
Okay. Ken, or is it Sharon? Sure.
This question is for Brett. You spoke to the need for change, so I'd like you to specify one thing, number one, that you see as being wrong in the way the county's operations are going, and the second would be a specific change that you would make.
Well, I think they'd be the same thing. And I spoke to it earlier, is educating the public, the county. I think we're not doing that now. I'd like Mike's idea that holding a meeting other than during the day on a Tuesday, I think that would be great to help educate the county on where the tax dollars are being spent. That is, to me, is our biggest challenge right now. We don't have a lot of people running for office. We have many of the same people running over and over, as they were talking about, 33 years experience. I'd like to see new faces, fresh faces, but we're not going to do that if they do not know what the positions entail and what the county's doing. So I would say that to answer both questions, it would be, that's where I think we're going wrong, and we would need to work with other council members to find a way to educate the county.
Okay. Ken? Wake up. I'm here. I'm gonna just see where you guys might want to go with this one. It seems like and Brett just brought this up with the fact that we have the same people running a lot of times. We don't have a lot of different people running, and also it seems like there are times when there's not decisions are being able to make because of the council meets at one time, commissioners meet at another time. Would you guys be in favor, or at least considering of joining both those entities together and make it one? Okay, going to start with John.
Are you talking about city council and county council?
I'm talking about county council and county commissioners joining together. One group, one meeting.
I don't really think it's not something I'd be interested in. I kind of like the checks and balances of how things are done the way they are. I think the council should be separate, and I think the commissioners should be separate.
Okay, Clark?
Well, Ken, there needs to be checks and balances, and that's what we have right now. The commissioners is the legislative branch, and the council's the fiscal. And I think without that, the taxpayers might have some concerns about who's guarding the hen house.
Okay, Mike.
I would agree. I do not think it would be a good idea to have them together. There's certain discussions that the commissioners have that the council doesn't have privy to, and vice versa. And I think it's a good thing just to have them separated as such. I think that way you can actually make some very good decisions.
All right, Tony?
I agree with all what they said up here. I think it's very important, that they be separated. And I think it's important that everybody should understand what their position is. The commissioners are the executive branch, and we're the financial branch. I think sometimes on both sides, one wants to step on the other side's toes. And I think there should be more communication, and I think there should be some more understanding that this is your job and you do it, but this is your job and you do it, and do not cross.
Hey, Jeff.
Well, I think you'd have to go back, I think, to 1850 when it was all set up and changed things. And it's amazing how, even on a national level, what our forefathers did and how forward-thinking they were. You can't have these two departments. I don't think by law you can have those be together. But you have an executive branch, you have a financial branch, and there's just no way Well, I guess there could be a way if you change the Constitution for Indiana or something, but it just doesn't make very much sense, does it? You need some communication, but if the left hand and the right hand are all the same hand, it's just, we talk about gridlock is not good. There would probably be not any gridlock at all if the same department made all the rules, all the regulations, and just go ahead and spent all the money. It would just be terrible.
Okay, Brett.
I was going to give you a simple answer of no, but I will elaborate. I think it's very dangerous. It's dangerous because we have some of the same people in office over and over. And if someone was to get into a position like you described, the damage they could do over several years could be, it may not be fixed.
Okay. We'll come back to Sharon, and I think we're winding it down with maybe one more question for Ken. You've got it? Okay. Well, we'll make this the last question. Make this the last question, and we'll have our 3-minute wrap-up. Okay.
Okay.
Sharon.
I would like each of your positions on public-private partnerships. We've talked about partnerships in terms of the commissioners and the county council and so forth, but let's look at the Ivy Tech project. Let's look at the golf course and so forth. What's your opinion of putting public money toward those kinds of initiatives?
Okay, Brett, we're going to start with you and come back this way.
Initially, I'm against spending public and private, tax money for those things. But I'm also a believer that sometimes we need things in our community to take care of our county residents in our community, or there's other things that benefits long term. So an honest answer for you would be, I'd have to think about that. Initially, I would say, no, I don't like it, but to look down the road, I think I would have to reflect a little bit before I made a set decision on that.
All right, Jeff?
Well, probably, Sharon, the only thing that I could really address is what's happening now with the county getting out of the golf course business, or that's the discussion right now, and letting the city have some holes on the golf course, and I think that's probably good for both. The county needs to probably get out of that, let the city deal with that, but I think sometimes you need to jumpstart some things, and maybe this is the time that you need to do that. As far as like the Ivy Tech, Sharon, I'm not privy on all that. I know that there's been a lot of private businesses that have given money to put their names on a hall, to have a building named after them. The Jan Davidson's family, at the campus. So, more power to people that have money like that. And one day Philip Sawntool could be a part of that.
All right, Tony.
That's one of the toughest things I bet Mike and those guys go through, because whatever they give, someone's always on them. You're spending our tax dollar, and nobody likes anybody to spend their money, especially me. But I'm big in education, so I have no problem with them helping Ivy Tech whatsoever. As far as the golf course is concerned, I really believe that the council and the commissioners haven't got any really credit. They just didn't do a good move. They did a brilliant move by giving the golf course to the city, because you're not going to get rid of the golf course. You can't do that. I know people don't play golf, and a lot of people know I play golf, but you cannot give an asset that, to grow up in corn. That just doesn't make sense. You have to keep that going. And for them to, they don't receive anything from it anyway. I think it's $1 for a year for whatever, their rent. So for them to get out of the golf business completely and get a nice parking lot or whatever they're getting out of that, that was really a brilliant move, because they get rid of giving extra $40,000 or $50,000 a year, and I really think that the commissioners and the council really need to be thanked for that. That was a brilliant move. Now, in closing on that, if the city would come back and want money in the later years, I would have a problem with that.
All right, Mike.
I guess it all depends on what the issue is. Ivy Tech, I think education is a good thing to bring into the county and the city. If it takes some money, then I think that's good. I don't know that, I think there was myself and maybe one or two other people that was pretty disagreeing on the golf course. I did go along with it, I'll tell you that. I did vote for it, but I had set a limit. I think it does help bring in when you have industries come in, and then you've got your people like that. They look towards your schools and your education and your facilities around. So I think there has to be a limit, but not like Tony said, not everybody plays golf, so that's you have to kind of look at the issue.
Okay, Clark.
Well, I agree with what several things these gentlemen said. I think we also need to be concerned with, the public monies being spent on private business. I'm sure there's rules that govern that, but it needs to be for sustainable projects to make this community better. I'm not going to get into some of the other issues they've already mentioned. I'm pretty much in agreement with that.
All right, John.
I would agree with the investment of Ivy Tech, because you are investing in the future by educating the people that live here, the kids that live here. Some of the grown-ups who want to go back to school, and it's more convenience for them to go here versus traveling, say, to Purdue or IU Kokomo like I did for many years. The golf course, I'll admit that I wasn't very fond of the idea at first, but I think that the move that they're making now to give that to the city through annexation, I think that's a good move that the county kind of washes their hands of it. So I'd applaud them on the move that they did.
All right, thank you. Well, we are going to have our final remarks here. There's the gentlemen have 3 minutes to close tonight's forum, and we're going in alphabetical order. So we're going to begin with Clark Beard. How about that, Clark? And you can feel free to come back up to the podium.
Well, Jason, you don't have to worry about timing me very much because I didn't prepare anything, so this isn't going to be very windy. But I just want to thank everybody for coming. I think I've pretty well stated my case, why I would make a good county councilman, and all I'm going to do is ask for your vote come anytime during the polling season. We're in this voting center thing. You don't have to wait till May 3rd, okay? And so get educated on where your polling places are and where you need to go to vote. Encourage your family, your friends, relatives to get registered here in the next couple of days, and especially those that are just turning 18 years old. Let's get them involved. I'm all about having young people get interested in government. So, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to me and all these other gentlemen. I've been very impressed with all the remarks that everybody has made.
Thank you, Clark. Tony?
Like Clark, I wasn't prepared for say much, but I do want to thank everybody for coming. This kind of reminds me of Martin Henderson's speech class in high school that I failed not once but twice. So bear with me for a second. I really think these gentlemen here, you couldn't go wrong with any one of the three. That's for sure. I guess to pitch my pitch, I've been a lifelong resident. I've done quite a bit of business, and I think it takes business sense to run a county. Doing a development was a tough thing. House development was a very tough thing to do. And building warehouses and having businesses, I think it takes someone with a business sense and someone who's got a nerve to know how to negotiate. I do appreciate everybody coming out. Again, I would like to thank my guys here. What a great bunch of guys. Again, thank you very much.
First of all, I want to say this is a lot of fun. I want to share a story. I was fortunate to travel all over the world in my military service, and I've seen a lot of countries. And I always dreamed of one place, and that was going home when I was away. I was always a proud resident of Clinton County. I still am. And I always wanted to come home, and I've always had that desire to serve. I served my country in the military, and I want to serve my country and my county on the council. Another story I want to share with you. I was debating whether to do this or not. And I debated all day to even share this story with you, but I want to tell you about my character a little bit. When I was out to dinner one evening with my beautiful girlfriend, Jennifer, and there was a campaign committee meeting. And a gentleman introduced me to someone there that has a lot to do with politics, doesn't hold an office, and said, hey, Brett's considering running for council. The gentleman shook my hand and told me not to bother, that they had their 3 candidates and there wasn't any chance that I would win. As I left that night after dinner and after meeting him, I shook his hand, told him thanks, and got in the car, and Jennifer looked at me and said, you made up your mind, didn't you? I said, I sure did. I filed the next morning to run for county council. That's the kind of person I am, and that's the kind of person I'll be once and if you elect me on county council. Thanks.
Jeff Shanawith, remember? Shanawith. Well, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank my grown kids who have drove here, and you know, we have followed them their whole life with athletics and academics and stuff, and it's kind of a kick to be doing this campaign, and now they're following their dad. Go and make a difference. Go and make a difference. And I just look out there and I see a lot of people that are doing that. It takes a lot of guts to sit up here, and the 2 going for coroner. That takes a lot of guts. The people that will sit here Thursday to just lay everything out and just say, you know what, I just want to just do the best for the county. It was Albert Einstein who was quoted by saying, the world is a dangerous place to live, not because of the evil that's in it, but because of the people who stand there and let it happen. And I see commercials on TV after Brussels, and it's like, if you see something, say something. And we need to take that back. We need to start doing that. As I've looked at the county budget, 30+% of the county budget is to keep me safe. When I asked the circuit court judge how much of his time is dealt with drugs and substance abuse, and he says 100%. You know, as concerned citizens, if you see something, say something. I'm standing here. I'm not one of the faces that has been going around the courthouse. I've been plucked out of business. I'm going on 60 years old, and I am charged up, and I'm treating this like business, and like I said, I won't be outworked. Jeff Shanawith, thank you very much.
I want to thank everybody for putting this on and coming out to see us. It's been fun. I didn't prepare a 3-minute speech either. I think most people know me, but I think we're heading in the right direction. You guys have got a good list of candidates to pick from us up here, and I'm going to leave it at that. And I appreciate your vote on May 3rd.
Okay, you've heard all of us talk up here tonight, and even though our ideas are somewhat different and everything, I think we're all headed for the same goal. I've been very committed, I feel, throughout my career and political life to be, you know, try to make the best decision. Not always is it the right decision. I think any decision you make, you're going to upset one side or the other. And, you know, the thing that I would like to do is just have your vote on May the 3rd. I think we're going in the right direction. Again, I do agree with Brett. I think that maybe some change needs to go to another way. And so your vote would be appreciated on November and May the 3rd. Thank you.
I think all of these gentlemen deserve our hand tonight for being here. That sure was a short summer, I'll tell you. That was a very short summer. To continue our history lesson, I'd agree with Jeff. Edwin Burke, the great Scottish philosopher, author, educator, also said that for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And so I would certainly encourage you to go and be a part of Clinton County in any way you possibly can, by serving it each and every day, by doing a good deed, by giving a good word, encouraging especially our young people. One of the situations that have been talked about here tonight with drugs and addiction is because we sometimes allow that to happen in our young people's lives. And my prayer is that we can do a better job, just like the folks here at Clinton Prairie High School, working very hard, diligently each and every day to educate not only the mind, but certainly the soul and the heart and the emotion, and challenge their intellect as well. Well, we'll be back here Thursday night, 6:30 at Clinton Prairie for the commissioner's race. It should be fun and exciting. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Ken. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your service, both to our country as veterans. We appreciate that. Brett, Jeff, thank you so much. We appreciate all of what you've done in our community and continue to do. Mike is incumbent, and certainly look forward to the future. Thank you for coming tonight. Have a great night. God bless.
You have been listening to the Clinton County Primary Political Forums from the Clinton Prairie High School Auditorium